You would think that a crazy felon man wouldn't love the NRA, but that's not true. Gary Berman is his name, and he wrote a letter indicating thanks to the NRA, he can get a gun when he leaves prison, and he's really grateful for it. He's very thankful that they blocked the bipartisan legislation in the state where Supermax is located that basically says, if you should get a background check. So what that means is that this guy who a judge said to him doesn't appear to be able to be rehabilitated, and he has 81 different convictions, can get a gun. America, 81 different convictions. He's in Supermax prison because he is so beyond rehabilitation. They put him in a place where he only gets out for like 10 minutes a day to like look at the sun, and he doesn't even get to see the sun because he's in like an enclosed patio. This guy, when he leaves Supermax in 20 years, if we don't make any changes, can now get a weapon. And not only any weapon, he can get a handgun, an assault rifle, a bazooka, AK-47, an AR-15, high-capacity magazines, 30 bullets, 1,000 bullets, 3,000 bullets, 5,000 bullets, 10,000 bullets, 1,000,000 bullets, with no background checks. Nothing. Nothing is stopping this man from going to a gun show and buying the whole show. Not one thing is stopping him from getting access to these weapons. Yeah, there are laws in place that say felons can't have weapons, but it doesn't stop them from buying said weapons. Now, does it? Because how would you know he's a felon if you're not doing a background check at a gun show? You see where I'm going with this, America? You see how crazy this is? You see what the problem is here? The NRA, and we're going to be talking about this more on the show, so don't worry. Hold your horses. Right? But the NRA have created it so even though in their ideal of trying to protect the Second Amendment, and we're only arguing, right? We're talking in an ideal world where they have no competing interests. They're not owned by the gun manufacturers. They don't boatload politicians with money, and the only reason why they're in this game is to protect the Second Amendment. This is all speaking hypothetically, right? In that type of world where they're only trying to protect the Second Amendment, is these protections of the Second Amendment worth it? So somebody who has 81 convictions and 20 years in Supermax, and the Supermax prison can get access to any weapon that he wants at a gun show? Is that really the type of protection for the Second Amendment we want? Listen, this goes back to the whole ideal of our constitutional amendments. There's no amendments, and in the Heller case, we already heard this. There's no amendments that have no limits. Just like you cannot go into a movie theater and yell fire, or you can't write slanderous or defamate articles that defame somebody's character wrongfully, or your religion can't hurt somebody else. Like all the limits that we've set up, your Miranda rights, but all those things, all the limits that we've set up in this process, right? Why then does this one amendment get no limits, right? Why then in this one amendment under the NRA's guise to protect the Second Amendment, that this one amendment out of all 24 of them has absolutely, positively no limits? And people like this criminal, who the judicial system said it appears that you cannot be rehabilitated. Right? You cannot. There is no chance of rehabilitation for you. I'm going to put you in Supermax, the same place where all the other really, 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 really bad people go. I'm going to put you there because you're so horrible for society. You need to be locked up behind less than behind bars that are behind concrete slabs, that are behind titanium walls, that are behind thousands of guards. But yet in 20 years and one day, this same individual can, and possibly will, if he can't be rehabilitated, get an opportunity to buy an AR-15, or to buy 1,000 bullets, or to buy enough weapons to blow up the Taliban. Is that really the NRA? Is that really the society we want for ourselves, America? Is the NRA really advocating for everyday gun owners? I don't think so. Even in the hypothetical world that I just explained to you, it's completely nonsensical.